Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow Eternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and I am trying to fix our live stream. This has been an issue for a second, and I hope our live stream is fixed now. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're actually in the clear now, and I really want to make sure of that. So I'm going to go into YouTube and find our live stream. I hope that doesn't become the issue now. So that's what I'm gonna try and figure out. But eventually we will get it. There we go. Okay, we actually have the live stream hooked up and set up, and we're succeeding. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this in the Discord. That's not ass. We're actually doing good, and I'm really proud of us. I'm really proud of us. I wanted, hey, we got a whole bunch of subs going in. I appreciate y'all. Um, it had been difficult because we were having a whole bunch of lag, we were having a whole bunch of issues, and it was garbage. And I appreciate y'all coming back and hanging out with us, because that's something that sucks. It sucks to like have an issue and for that to be something that like destroys an entire stream or destroys something that you're working toward in general. So it's really cool to see you guys still supporting and to to have somebody who watches this. Whenever we try and put things out there, it's always a wonder as to how much this is actually going to reach, how well it'll do. And so I really appreciate you guys like supporting and continuing on with us, because it just is. It's just that perseverance that eventually has to win out. And I think that's the way in all micronationalism that it has to be. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff on Reddit and talk about micronations and how difficult it is to be a micronation, what that means for people. But as of right now, I think it's really big to talk about just struggles that people have in life, with trying to achieve anything, and particularly with dealing with micronationalism. Because micronationalism is a community that can either be full-hearted, supported, behind you, amazing when you're doing well, and then can just kind of not give you support when you are first starting out, or when you may really need it, when things aren't going great. So micronationalism is a double-edged sword, but I definitely appreciate everybody who does support us and who does jump in and who does give us that assistance that we need to keep going, because it's rough, it always is. That's amazing. So one thing that's really interesting, we have a Discord here, and I actually want to bring this up and show everybody because I think is pretty interesting to see. Oh, if it's gonna show our Discord. If it's not, I guess I'll just go back to Micronation stuff. But we have a, oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I'm gonna show that to everybody real quick, because now we have our actual Discord window up. But or not. Now it's like, nope, you can't. You can't look at Discord. Weirdly enough, even though I would like to. I don't know why it's not letting me look at Discord, but it's not. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull that up, close out of there, try and reopen to see if we can find Discord. Still can't find Discord. Cool. Sometimes Discord works for us, sometimes it doesn't. I was going to try and show y'all what's going on weird in our Discord. Basically, someone in our Discord was like, if I get another like ping about this video, or about this thing, I'm gonna leave. That's what that's what our server's about. This server is about, the Empire of Eternia. Hey, what's going on, Tough? I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. I just wanted to talk about struggle tonight and stuff like that, but I got caught off guard because this guy in our Discord, it's the Empire of Eternia Discord. Uh-oh. Am I really quiet? That may be because of my audio. Let me fix that real quick for everybody. Okay. Boop-a-doop. How is this? Is this better? Let me see if I can get it a little closer to my mouth up here. See if I can fix that for y'all. Because I am trying to adjust all the issues tonight. We have been having a couple issues, and it started out with a stream lag. It started out with just trying to do like multiple streams to see if it would work once, and now we are having sound issues. So what I'm hoping to do is to continue working with everything. Sorry about the noise on that. Awesome, perfect. To continue to work with things until we get it right. As of right now, I just had to adjust my mic right here. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do when going to prepare for all this, and it's hard. Hey, what's going on, Retry? You see, now we got people jumping back in, and I'm glad, because that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, is the issue with the micronational community just in struggling and in difficulty, and in, for people who are just starting out, it's hard to find support. It really, really is. It's a struggle all the time. You have all these ideas, you have everything that you want to go toward, and that you want to be able to say, hey, I have all these great ideas, I feel like I can help the community, I feel like there's so much that needs to be done and can be done, and it's super enthusiastic people. And a lot of the time these people are younger. A lot of the time these people are people who may not have a ton of familiarity about the unspoken rules of the micronational community, or about the way things are done. And so they come in with all these ideas, and most of them end up with very little support. And it sucks to see that as another micronationalist, because I know how it was, and I know how it is. Even, like dealing with this stream error and stuff like that. I know it does take a toll on how many people are going to watch this stream, and that's rough, because as a community we're already so small, and we're already so divided. Everybody wants to have their own nation, everybody wants to be doing things independently and finding their own way and being the best, but ultimately the only way that any of us are going to achieve anything, and the only way that we can make this community more mainstream, is if we're able to help each other get there. And it's something that's rough to see micronationalists breaking each other down, or at very least to like have each other like putting like gatekeeping, just sort of stopping each other and saying, you're not a micronationalist unless you do this or whatever. I've definitely had my opinions on what I think micronationalism should be and the way that it should be going, but I don't tell people that they're not micronationalists because of something or another thing. That's not my place to. I think there are like realist nations and there are fantasy nations, and the way that people go about those are just their different goals. But it's hard, especially like on Reddit, which we're about to get to now, because this all sort of goes into a larger topic, that people just aren't supportive sometimes. Tuff says, are you from Louisiana? Louisiana, you sound Cajun. Yes, I was actually born and raised in South Louisiana, although right now I am in North Alabama, actually. But yeah, I am in Alabama, but originally I was born and raised in South Louisiana, so that makes perfect sense that you would say I'm Cajun. Ritrack said, yep, that happened once or twice. Yeah, like just tonight. We're a pretty big channel as far as micronationalism goes. Not to brag. But, we are one of the more active YouTube channels in the micronational community. And it's even, when we have difficulties like this, even when we, struggle with stuff, it is hard to find support sometimes whenever we're trying something new out. That's one of the things I've seen, especially in that's something that I've seen especially when dealing with things in Reddit. We are not that popular on Reddit. We just don't have the hype in Reddit, and I'm not 100% sure why. But it's something that's hard to continue to gain traction in. I think part of just because of the clash between our ideas and sort of what Reddit wants and what, the culture there is. So we're going to be looking at the Micronation subreddit a little bit and talking about that, because there's some stuff in this community, in the Reddit community specifically, that I like fall in love with. I see it and I'm like, y'all are doing great. There's so much cool stuff happening. Like people talking about like doing envelope steals with Stomeria. They're continuing to brand themselves and do merchandise and stuff, and that's really cool. There's some people who I think are generally like pretty successful on the Reddit, but then there are plenty of other people who have like cool ideas but just don't get like help for it. Um, so they get a lot of like shit for things, and it's really really interesting. Especially people just like asking questions, um, which is hard to see. So this person is just trying to like understand, how the political party system works. This one I don't think was so bad. I looked at this one a while back, and it was more or less just like, don't start political parties because they're hurtful or whatever. Um, Ritrack says you are probably one of the largest leading online figures, uh, which is commendable in micronationalism, and I appreciate that, Ritrack. That's something that's weird for me personally because I don't feel like I do all that great at it, and I want to get better and better and better at it. It's hard to try to continue to push a community that you feel like is so divided and that you feel like is at this point where everybody wants to be butting heads and everybody wants to be finding their own route to success and everything instead of working together. Um, Another thing that I think sort of creates difficulty with that is micronational organizations, because you would think, okay, organizations, people working together, is something that's good and beneficial and is something that brings people together. But a lot of the time, micronational organizations can also be like another form of gatekeeping. They can be something that stops people from wanting to join the micronational community or a specific micronational organization because there are certain requirements to get in, or because certain people with ideas in it will just be difficult to handle. There was some people on our stream last time talking about how, there were people who left their micronational organization because there was like arguing going on and they felt like it was toxic or whatever. There are people on, our Twitter, on the Reddit, who talk about this toxicity in the micronational community. And I think it's all just because of the concept that people don't want to accept each other when they're different. People don't want to actually try and grow for the sake of growth. They want to grow for the sake of what's theirs. Hey, hold up, we got a whole bunch of people. Toxic Acid said I made it. I'm so glad. I'm sorry there was so much lag for you guys. I really appreciate y'all coming back. I really appreciate y'all supporting. We got like 5 viewers now, and that's a big thing for us. Like, the more viewers we can get on a stream, the better. Right now, watch time is like our hardest thing to get up to as far as trying to get recognized on YouTube, as far as trying to get monetized and being one of the few micronations that are monetized. And the way that we can go about that is getting that watch time up. So the more people watch our live streams and the longer we do the live streams, the more watch time hours we get. Greetings, and we need like 2,000 more to reach our goal. Toxic Acid said I made it. It's good to see you, Toxic Acid. Rachel Veer, always good to talk to you. Always good to see you. How have your experiences been in the micronational community? All you guys. Like, is there some toxicity that you've seen? That's kind of what I want to... I'm probably going to rename this stream about, like, toxicity in the micronational community and talking about that, because that's ultimately what this stream comes down to. Seeing what it is and why it is that some parts of the micronational community are incredibly inclusive and incredibly loving and incredibly supportive, and then others can just seem to be places of no help, and why it is that people who first come into micronationalism, most of them find those places with no help over and over and over again before they eventually find a community that is wonderful and that is helping and supportive and growth inspiring. Because I think that's what turns a lot of people away before they even get fully into micronationalism, is there's a certain level of commitment you have to just find any modicum of success before you find that community that's special to you. Retract says, me, the president of Internet Union, for instance, I am talked down to every day about how, oh, you aren't a micronation and you don't even have realistic land claims. They are right, but what is a man to do if not try? Ritrack, I completely agree with you. You should absolutely try. And you should find your own way and your own interesting way of doing your micronational stuff. Because that's the hard thing about it. You know what I mean? I am a person who's in I don't even have my own land yet. I do not have land that I own. I'm renting, and I'm a college student. It's something that I'm trying to put out there, and I'm trying to eventually work toward, but I don't have it yet. Any goals, anything that someone tells you you don't have, tell them I don't have it yet. I'm trying to get that, if that is your goal. And if it's not, if you're saying, I am just an internet micronation and I just want to be an internet micronation and that's all I care about, that's fine too. There are people who like that. There are people who just want a community and a group of friends to talk to in the afternoons. There's people who just want to be able to find a happy spot that they can feel like they're a part of and that they can call home. That's what micronationalism is, whether it's building a town physically in your backyard and inviting a whole bunch of people, whether it's growing and creating businesses that, can feed families and do things like that, or if it's just, hey, me and my friends talk online and we support each other and we have ideas about the way that this world should be, because even that has huge impacts on the way that the world actually works, because those people are going to grow up and live in this world. Those people are going to grow up and interact with different macronational bodies. They're going to potentially be the next politicians, the next world governments. So it's incredibly important that those people feel supported and that we all feel like we have a place in this community. Toxic Acid said, I don't think anyone has realistic land claims. It's not like we can defend the place against Macro's armies. I think you're right about that, but I think it depends on what you consider realistic and how you consider goals to be achieved, I think, like, people talking about, like, going to the moon, if you were to ask somebody in the Middle Ages, can you get to the moon? They would have said, that shit's impossible. And even if you ask somebody in the 1920s or in the 1910s or whatever, can you get to the moon? Most people would be like, nobody has any realistic way of getting to the moon. And it's like, yeah, but not yet. Once we built cannons, we realized we could fire shit a long way and make it go really far and make it go really high. We started creating, even before that, understandings of orbits and the way that planets moved and things like that. So we knew there were some steps we could take between calculating gravity and figuring out how to break free from its grasp and go to other planets. We knew there was only a certain number of steps it took to go from one to the other, even though at the time it seemed impossibly long. And it ended up not being that crazy or that long a journey. So I think that's how we have to view micronationalism. Retry said, true, that is why I choose to use the internet and its websites and users as our people and property, which isn't entirely untrue. I've been DM'd, hey, do you want to improve relations? And I give them the union spiel. That's great. It's an important way to be able to try and grow and improve what you're doing, and it sucks that there are so many people who just want to tear that down and who just want to make it a big deal that if you're not doing what they're doing, then you're doing it wrong. Toxic Acid said, I think there's a lot of toxicity that isn't really toxicity, but is just taken as offensive or toxic behavior and language. I agree. I definitely think toxicity is a word that's thrown around a lot, but it's also something important to understand that if you're driving people away from a community, like if people come with an idea and they're like really supportive and really passionate, and then they like get driven away in droves, I think there's good reason for that. Like I think there's good reason that most people have micronations for less than a year at most and then are not interested in the community again for the rest of their lives. I think there's plenty of people who just eventually feel like their interest in micronationalism has to have an expiration date, and I don't think that's the case. I think if we truly had a good, well-functioning, supportive community, that wouldn't be the case. There have been so many people around the world who at one point in their life or another have been interested in micronationalism, and if those people had stuck around, this community would be a lot larger and a lot more mainstream than it currently is. We have a slow growth rate as a community, and it doesn't have to be that way. Richrack said, yes, that seems possible. Clean and Gleam team said, good day, Clean and Gleam. I hope you are spotless and shiny this evening. Tough says, I'm not gay, but you're extremely handsome. I appreciate that, Toxic. I think you were, Toxic. Tough. I appreciate that, tough, and I think you're pretty great, and I think you're pretty strong as well. You seem like strong, you seem like a tank, you seem like you can beat people up. That's pretty solid. It's respectable. Also, live your life, do you, and let nobody define like what you think and what you want to do. Figure that shit out for yourself. Rich Rack said, "Oh, you reminded me. I'm planning on running for mayor when I'm old enough." That's great. Do you feel like you'll still be interested in micronationalism when you run for mayor? Do you think you'll run on a platform that is supportive of that? Do you think if people ask you during your run, are you, what happened, how can you be a mayor of whatever this city is and also be the leader of another country? What do you think you'll say to that? Toxic Acid said, "I plan on building my way up through political offices in general." That's awesome. Ritrack said, "Nice." Toxic Acid said, "Yo, I feel the same way, so I ain't mad you accidentally said toxic." I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a thing where I feel like toxicity is like a thrown around term, but agreed. I do think there is some merit just to the idea that whatever you want to call it, toxic or just, unsupportive is the best term, I think. Um, there's something wrong with why we aren't growing as quick as we should be. There's something wrong with why micronationalism isn't as big an interest as it could be to people. There has been uh, talk of micronationalism, modern micronationalism, since Sealand in the whatever 50s, 60s, 70s. Um, it's something that's been around a long time, and things like the internet have blown up in that time. Micronationalism, modern micronationalism, has been around since the dawn of the internet, and I don't know why we aren't a bigger deal right now. We should be. I think the primary reason for that is because of that difficult and divisive nature. Uh, uh, Clean and Gleam team said, "I've been made fun of for having Micronation on Roblox, but I don't care because I'm successful and made a bit of money in the process. A lot more realistic than other things." I completely agree. There are people who absolutely don't support others who don't know, how much money they're making. They don't know how successful they're being at it as well. If you are doing stuff on Roblox, we have considered doing stuff on Roblox before. The Empire of Eternia, especially when it started out, we were going to do a thing where we had, Roblox stuff set up. We even talked about it on channel before, having, games that we would design and build, and then having people play those games and making money off of the little resources and things of it. That's not a bad way to go. Any gaming community that you can get yourself a part of, any programming stuff, anything online, you can make money at, and that's a great way for micronations to do so. So I think you're on the right track. I don't think you're non-realistic. If you're trying to make money at the thing and you're using it for your micronation and you're using it to advance realistic goals, it just means you're early on in the process. It doesn't mean you're not realistic. There's a difference. I think you're doing well. Rich Risk said, "Wow, that's some king stuff right there. You actually made money." Yeah, it's like you'd be surprised how many people, like, even if you just work a job or whatever, and you're like, "I work a job in my community, in my macronational community, and I make money at that, and I put it toward my micronation." That counts. You are leveraging the assets in your community in order to better your life and try to better other people's lives around you. And if you're doing that and claiming that that's a micronation, it very well could be. It very well is. And you can set it up that way. So don't feel like how small your start is has any definition and any deterrence for how much you can grow. Um, Toxic acids. Ooh, Tough says, remember like 2016 when micronationalism was huge? So that's another thing. I think even in like 2016, there's like upticks in the micronational community. There are points where things get larger and smaller, and people get more interested and less interested. I think what it is how often the micronational community gets into the major spotlight. When major news channels talk to micronational leaders, when people start to notice different things in micronationalism, and bigger YouTube channels do conversations with other micronationalists, that's when things seem to spike up. And it's just because the mainstream community starts hearing more about us. But if the people who actually got interested during those times in micronationalism, who flooded micronationalism for what it seemed, because I still think even in those times, relative to like any sport on the planet, micronationalism was small. Relative to any, most mainstream hobbies, micronationalism was small. So the thing that's difficult about this is that we need to ensure that when micronationalists come into the community, that they like it and appreciate it, and even if they leave, that they're still enthusiastic enough about it to tell other people about it and to continue to feel proud of what they did during it, during their reign as a micronationalist, because it is the way for us to grow, and the way for us to grow sincerely, and the way for us to hold on to that growth as a community. Toxic Acid said, I think if we all band together, people may actually start recognizing us as a real community and realize there's more to micronationalism than Sealand and Molossia. I completely agree. And that's one of the things that's interesting. Sealand and Molossia, in my opinion, aren't nearly the most interesting micronations that have come about. Absolutely at the start, they are the forefront of things. Absolutely, they are people who have paved the way as far as just talking to larger news outlets and being the face of things for a long time. But both Molossia and Sealand came about before the height age of the internet, before things really got going with personal computers and stuff like that. So yeah, I absolutely think they're still around. I absolutely think they're big for a reason, but I think there are plenty of people who are doing a lot more now and who need to be a fresher face for the forefront of micronationalism. Retry said, I will let them know that I hold an obligation to my country, and I will let them know that I will not waver in my efforts to improve the community from what I have learned these past years. Mayoral draft, lol. Statement draft. I love it. I definitely appreciate it. I think that absolutely that's something that you can leverage in a future diplomatic career or future political career. A lot of people who are micronationalists say at one point or another, I'm just going to get into mainstream politics. And that's perfectly fine. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But don't hide your micronational past. Embrace it. Say, I did this for a long time. I ran a thing that started smaller than we are, and I know how hard it is to grab a group of people who all have different goals and needs and desires and bring them together to achieve large-scale growth. And I can do it again. It's important that you use the assets that you have gained over the years in your own personal life to assist those you care about if you truly want to be in political office in any kind, micronational or otherwise. Jackson Gaming said, hello chat and hello AP. Hello Jackson, it is good to talk to you as always. I think I've seen you on a few streams. We're talking about toxicity in the micronational community. We're talking about how difficult it can be to get started, and what it even means to come into micronationalism and then to leave because you don't feel supported or you don't feel like you've found the right group of people. So it's a big deal for a lot of micronationalists, and I think it's important to talk about tonight. Richrack said hello to Jackson. World War I and World War II history buff said, I'm a leader of a micronation and want to get more allies. Now I only have relationship with a Molossi at the moment. Do you have any advice? I don't want to sign contracts. I am not allowed to have social media. That's a great question, history buff. I would recommend, if you are a young person, which it sounds like you are, you've contacted Molossia, which is a great start, and you're not allowed to have social media, use the people in your life, the people who are around you personally, not on the internet, but just physically around you, the people in your local community, the people who may go to your school, the people who are, parents and people who are around you and supportive of you as adults, and ask them, learn from them, read books at the library about people who have started countries, read books about history. A lot you can learn from history. Read books on economics. If you are truly sincere about this, your education is your number one priority. And then from that, make sure that you have people who support you. Your friends, if you tell them you're starting a country and you have ideas for it and you want them to be a part of it, they'll feel psyched, I'm certain. If you say, hey, I want to make you the whatever head of whatever, they'll be psyched and they'll want to get their friends in on it. I guarantee you. So absolutely, if you're a young person, a history buff, and that's what you want to do, definitely get your friends involved. You're 15, you say. That is fantastic. 15 would be a great time to start a micronation. One, because you have a ton of time to get older and to do different things. And secondly, because you're in high school. If you're 15, that means you're in like the beginning, middle stages of high school. You're probably like in your sophomore year, I imagine. If that's the case, go for it. Go for it. Talk to your friends about your micronation. Let them know what you're interested in. Talk to them about, why it is that you think this can work. Talk to them about, goals. Plan things out. Have a good idea, and people will support you. Be enthusiastic. Start talking to a large range of people about it, and at very least, you'll make a whole bunch of new friends who are interested in the person who's starting a country. It'll be very cool, and I think you'll learn a lot about it. And don't forget that if you fail, keep trying. If you get a group of people and it falls apart, try again. Try different tactics. Try different ways of going about it. Because when I started, Veritas, when I first started out, I was in college and I tried to get a group of people together. I had friends who were a part of it. I had a small group that was going to become an official club on our campus, and it fell apart. And I felt bad about that. I felt like I had doubts about that. But ultimately I learned from it, and here we are today. So I definitely recommend that you keep pursuing that and keep trying to get people in person who you know will support you and who you know will be a beneficial part of what you're trying to do. 15 is a perfect age to start talking to people in person. Don't feel like you need to reach out online. Don't feel like you have to do anything of that sort. Start in person. Understand what it means to gain the support of people directly, and then worry about marketing yourself online. You have plenty of time for it. Plus, if you start out in person and then you go online, your nation will have a lot of growth under its belt and a lot to talk about once it does emerge on the online forums and community. So get ready, prepare, do things right, and learn a lot before you get started online. Tough said, hold up. Retry said it's good to sign documents or at least have some records. Social media thing I don't have an answer to. I hope I answered that for you, history buff. Tough said I got allied depending on your views. Could not got. Interesting. Jackson said, hey AP, I did some math and I have 0.4 square miles from my micronation. Isla Wolf will be an upgrade to 5 square miles. That's fantastic. Now, is that land that you own, or is that land that you just are considering yours? Is it something that you are claiming, or is it an owned piece of property by you? Because the amount that you are able to do with that land is very, very important. You can say, I jumped my micronation's land from 500 feet to 30,000 miles. But if it's not land that you own, if it's not stuff you're actually able to build with, if it's not something that becomes a part of your financial assets, if it's not land you can sell to someone else, it's hard to be able to make that worth very much to your nation. You can have people visit it, and that's certainly cool. You can hang things up, depending on who the owners of the actual property are that allow you to decorate or not. But ultimately, if you are trying to truly gain wealth and success for your nation, you have to start small, work with land that you know you have control over, and from there start to grow based on what assets you can create for yourself, not just what claims you can make. Because it sounds like you're starting to get further and further through your development of micronationalism, and so now it's time to decide, are you just trying to make claims, which is perfectly fine and you can have fun with, or are you trying to make a sincere micronation, in which case you need to start looking at how big your assets are and how quickly you can grow them. Ritrack said, I would suggest not giving out personal info like that. Also, nice Jackson Gaming. Agreed. Be careful giving out personal information online. It's some scary stuff. I'm an adult and I don't even feel comfortable giving out a ton of information online. So always remember to be safe when you're talking to other people. Um, uh, Tough said, I have 3 acres. That is awesome. Congratulations. And if you have 3 acres that you can use, if it's your parents' land or something like that, absolutely work on it. Absolutely try and build things on it and ask them if you're allowed to make bigger and better ththings on it. Michael Priveto Kivel, uh, I'm glad you're hanging out with us. I'm not sure if you're subscribed or not, but I definitely appreciate you hanging out. If you aren't, we're a Micronational YouTube channel, and if you subscribe to us, it helps us get to monetization, to 1,000 subs. And once we get to there, that'll be an even further continuation of consistency for our economy and growth for us. So I would appreciate that from you if you could tell and share with your friends. Um, uh, History Buff said, thank you for your help. I won't forget what you said. I appreciate it. That means a lot, and I sincerely wish you luck in everything you do. If you continue to follow us and talk to us, I will continue to track your progress and let people know what you're up to. Michael Prieto Civilli said, I'm going to build my micronation in Spain in the Valencia province. That's very cool. If you are able to join our Discord, you can join our micronational map. Our link to our websites should actually be in the description of either this video or for sure one of our other videos. So definitely check that out and you can become a part of it. There's actually another micronation in Spain, maybe one or two, who might be near to you. So if you want to join our micronational map, that's a great way to connect with other people in your local area. For Michael, World War I and II History Buff said, hey, so how do I make a stable economy? You have to have something of value. I recommend you start to look at our Micronational Economics series. We have, I believe, 3 or 4 videos on the channel right now that go through the steps one by one. Start with episode 1 talking about, what it means to have an economy, and then go through that. This is something that's focused on micronational aspects of economies, but you can look at that. You can also look at other macronational resources. Start off with our guide to micronational economics and go from there. Take what you learn and then ask questions, then do research on your own. Richrack said, I have already said this to the attorney and leader, but I want to use the internet as a huge economic engine. I also want to include website operators in the union to vote on online laws. That is very cool, and I definitely think games that have a lot of like RPG elements, games that allow people to buy and sell things, especially things that you can program and add in and personalize for your citizens, your online union members, is really, really important because that allows people to feel more included in it. That's why things like Roblox and Minecraft and stuff are so cool for micronations, especially internet-based micronations, because it allows them to feel really connected to each other. VR chat, stuff like that is also really cool for it for the same reason. Tough liked our stuff. Michael said he's subbed, and I appreciate that. That helps us a ton on the way to 1,000. Clean and Gleam team said, what is your opinion on planned micronations that say they are going to establish a micronation on whatever land and make actual country in the terms of a large permanent population? I have heard of people doing that before. That's very, very cool, and that's more or less what we're trying to do. We want to purchase land that is in my name and that we can use to have people live on it permanently and start to use things that we build, technologies that we have, to work on the creation of assets to be sold online to others, to help their micronations grow and to help our economy grow. So we're trying to create worth. We're trying to find ways that we can eventually expand what we're doing right now. We already have, our micronational store, our imperial market that we're working with, and as we continue to grow, as we continue to expand, that's the effort, is to try and go from doing stuff basically myself and with 1 or 2 other people who are trying to help me make things, making content online, all of that transitioning into having a permanent piece of land with people living on it permanently and who are hired full-time in helping us to make products for the micronational community. Clean and Gleam team said, Jackson Gaming said, I'm going to take over Isla Wolf or buy if we have enough money, but it's owned by Ecuador. But they want but they might not want it back. It's 100 miles from land. We plan to buy small planes after a bit. That's awesome, and also a very, very expensive endeavor. Buying planes is just hard to do. They're more expensive than cars, sometimes more expensive than houses even, depending on where you are. So definitely make sure you save up and you know that that's your best investment. As you go along with that, definitely plan to purchase planes if that's your goal in the long run, but also keep checking back on how you're growing, the ways that you're growing, to see if there are more short-term goals that you can put in between that to ensure that you have enough money when the time comes to actually buy those planes. Or maybe boats may be more efficient for you to purchase in the short term, things like that. That allow you to still eventually get to the goals you want to, but help you to prioritize things that maximize your growth on the way there. Michael Priveto Kivle said, is there any restriction to having a micronation? Any age restriction? So yes and no. Not officially. Anybody can start a micronation. Nobody is allowed to tell you what is or isn't a micronation. We on the Empire of Eternia channel have videos that discuss what we consider to be different types of micronations. We talk about, the ways that different types of micronations go about things, but you declaring yourself as a micronation is what makes you a micronation at any age, with any purpose. Now, that being said, there are certain barriers to entry that micronationalism does have. Some of those are just purely based on stigma, people saying, I don't think you're old enough to have a micronation, and that's just people being jerks, people being the way that they are, not wanting younger members of the community. The other thing is, and because of immaturity and things, but that doesn't have to be the case. The other thing is there are a lot of websites which have age restrictions based on their terms of service. So for example, Discord. Discord is a huge one that micronations love to congregate in and love to discuss in and create communities in. That's something that is super helpful in the way of communicating and connecting with other micronations, especially in your area. That being the case, though, you have to be at least 13 to be a part of Discord. So that's something that is sort of difficult to manage, and something which you will have to decide on your own terms what things you can join, what things you're able to join. And most importantly, make sure that if you are under the age of 18, or at least under the age of 17, that you have your parents and guardians knowledgeable of what you're doing on the internet and comfortable with assisting you, especially if you're younger, on helping you to get a part of these platforms, to make sure that you're safe, make sure that people aren't coming after you, sort of thing. Because giving out information online can be really, really dangerous, and because of the way that micronationalism works, a lot of the time that is the primary way for communication, is trading email addresses, trading potentially where you are approximately located, stuff like that. So all of that is very, very dangerous for younger people on the internet. Getting into private chat rooms with people, things like that, is all very, very dangerous. And so you need to be careful, and you need to have adults monitoring what you're doing to make sure that if you ever did get into trouble, or somebody ever did try to harm you or track you down or something, that there would be people who are aware of what's going on and could report that to the proper authorities, and ensure that the proper people know about it as well. Jackson Gaming said, no, there's not. And again, we kind of talked about that. World War I and World War II, do you have any advice on making a Russian-style military and building it up? I do not. We personally, because of our realist nature and because of the way that we're trying to achieve our goals, more honestly, is that we don't see a reason for having a military personally. There are other micronations who love to talk about militaries and who are big military buffs and history buffs. There are definitely people that you should go to talk about that, but we are unfortunately not one of them. There's a guy, Daniel Maloney, on our Discord, if you are a part of our Discord, who would love to talk to you about that. He loves to talk about planes, he loves to talk about militaries. There are a ton of people on our Discord who would be great for that. The same thing with Twitter and Instagram. Toxic Acid said, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I think Molossia war against East Germany is really dumb. Agreed. It's something that I think they did as a promotional stunt. I think it's something that they did. He said he did it when he was younger, when he was a part of the military. And I think it's something that he found as a loophole that could be, kind of quirky and funny. But that country, East Germany, doesn't exist anymore. So he's effectively understood that he's declaring war against a country that is not real, and could do that indefinitely because they never signed an official peace agreement or whatever. Because they were just terminated as a country. They just don't exist anymore. So it didn't matter if they created a peace deal or not. So it's something that they can indefinitely say is happening because they're doing it against a nation that will never retaliate back or never, have any reason to put up a fight because they don't exist. Ritrack said it was, but was interesting in the case of badly written treaties. Agreed. There's definitely stuff we can learn about times like that and information like that, even if we think it's silly. It showed international community that they had to put more effort into treaties, which is great. Agreed. It is kind of a silly thing, and I think it's a great way to be satirical about macronational events. I don't think Malasia was stupid in the way that they did it. I think it was something that was well understood by Kevin Baugh to be silly, as a lot of his Micronation is. So I think it was a great way to be satirical and to poke fun at these macronations who are, creating these treaties and doing these things with nations that rise and fall like the wind. Um, Ritrack said, Pix mass assault focus. Jackson Gaming said, I just sent a card to the UN. I plan to sell the fish from the coastline of the water for money, and 10% of money is going to Army. That's pretty cool, Jackson. Now, when you do that, do you feel like you're gonna go fishing in a boat? Do you feel like you're gonna go fishing just off the coast? Do you feel like when you go fishing, are there other fish markets nearby you that you may have to compare the prices on? We talk a lot about that in our micronational economics series as well, just helping you to determine what it is that you need to figure out to ensure that your economy goes well and to ensure that there are people who want to buy your goods and services. So definitely check that out. Check that out as well. Um, uh, Toxic Acid said, I also think it's mainly used promotionally. Yeah, of course, because it's great to be able to claim some really big and extravagant thing that's happening, like a micronational war, even especially when you know that nothing's going to come of it, that there won't be any retaliation, and that people especially can't say that it's not happening because it's with a country that doesn't exist anymore. And under technical terms, that's the way that it worked out. So I agree. I think it's silly, but I think it was effective in what it was trying to do. Um, Toxic Acid said, I've been working on a Wikipedia article for my Micronation for a while now, and there's a main problem that the article is poor, but there isn't much. That isn't that the article is poor, but there isn't much notability. That's a difficult thing with Micronations as well. I'm going to go back to Reddit. A lot of the time on Micronational Reddit, there's so many flags. I can scroll down Micronational Reddit and you will see like hundreds of flags, just because that's sort of the way that people go about. That's sort of the way that people go about, branding themselves as a micronation and go about their initial startup. It's something that is hard to see sometimes because it means that there isn't a whole lot of progress going on and that there's a lot of stagnation, but that's perfectly fine. Look, one flag, Yonkers. Two flags, three flags, four flags, five flags, six flags. That's crazy. Seven flags. 8 flags, 9 flags, wow, 10 flags, 11 flags, 12 flags, 13 flags, 14 flags, 15 flags, wow, 16 flags. Most of Micronational Reddit you're going to scroll through is flags, 17 flags, 18 flags, State Farm, us, flag, 19 flags, 20 flags. So many flags. There are so many flags on Micronational Reddit. This one's actually kind of a cool design. I like it. The Wilmatin Kingdom. That was it's like the snake design from the game. I appreciate it. Um, it is something that's very, very weird to see. So many flags, but I think that's sort of a symptom of the fact that micronations don't know what to do after that point. We create a ton of stuff just talking about sort of here's what my nation is doing. Here's, we created a flag and a culture and all this stuff, and it's so crazy and it's so cool. Everybody hype us up. But ultimately, what that comes down to is more or less a uh, a description of culture, and that's it. There isn't progress that's done after that. There isn't a whole lot that can be done simply because there's a lack of community in their area. There's a lack of connection online, and there's so much gatekeeping. There's so much people who are just like, you can't do this. You shouldn't be doing that. Um, everything you're talking about is infeasible and ridiculous when it's not. It just takes time to manufacture. It just takes time to build up what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it's important to find people who have similar mindsets to you on that. Toxic Acid said, I've been working for a while. Also, I want to give a shout out to Pink real quick before we get too far into this. Pink is who we've been jamming to tonight, and they give free for profit music for us, and I just want to make sure that they are well credited for that. Retry said, it was, but an interesting case of treaties. Toxic Acid said, I've been working on a Wikipedia article for my Micronation for a while now, and the main problem isn't the article is poor, but there isn't much notability. Toxic Acid said, this is also why I think there's a problem with just Molossia and Sealand being the faces of it. Agreed. Is that there's a lot of silliness that happens, and a lot of people saying, well, that's all micronationalism is. They don't know that micronationalism is a large community of people all trying to make nations. It's more like Molossia and Sealand are the micronations. That's it. There are a ton of people who don't know much beyond that, and there are even more people who don't even know about them. So, difficult things. Richrack said the flags are actually kind of cool to see in the TL. Appreciate it. Again, there are a lot of cool flags, but it's crazy when, micronational Reddit is more r/vexology or whatever, flag making. There's a flag making Reddit, and this is not it. So it's interesting to see how much of this Reddit could more or less just be that Reddit. Jackson Gaming says, well, this is planning for the island, but we will use the boats to fish and we can sell trees. I have a friend new to micronations too, so we can get, can we get yay in the chat? Yeah, that's great. Also, FLD say, yeah, no lag. I'm so glad you're here, FLD. I'm so glad you can see the comeback of the stream and the zero lag alert. Agreed. I think you guys will do well, and I'm definitely hyped that you have a new friend of micronationalism. You should definitely tell them to subscribe to our channel and help us get to 1,000, because we're trying to promote this for micronations, and we're trying to help get answers for your micronations. World War I history buff said, are there any youth, or YouTube maybe, are there any YouTube channels that can get the word out about my micronation and that it exists? We are. The History Buff's Micronation exists, but he hasn't told us the name of it yet, or she hasn't told us the name of it yet. Richrack said, yeah. Jackson said, the flag of my micronation is blue back, yellow X, and a green circle. That's pretty cool. Y'all should definitely hit up our micronational map because people can see your flags. They can also know your approximate location, and you can build micronational communities around you. We're also going to be using that in the future to plan events where we come to the most highly populated micronational areas, places with the most micronations in them, and visit them so that we can do big events. Michael said, my micronation is called the Republic of Esnia. That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see more about Esnia and to see how micronationalism grows in Spain. Clan of Gleam team, the Clean and Glean team said, a bit of an off-topic question, but is it necessary to understand the opinions of others within micronationalism? But it is still necessary to understand the opinions of others within micronationalism. Do you support LGBT people? Absolutely, we do. There are definitely people in all spans of the micronational community who have different opinions on things like that. But we absolutely do support LGBTQ people in the Empire of Eternia. It's something that's important to creating more and more freedoms for people and allowing more and more freedom for the way that they live. A lot of micronations divide themselves into the categories of either being specifically for creating more freedoms for more people, or vice versa, they are for trying to create a life with more like-minded individuals to themselves, having a more insulated community. So there are plenty of micronations who are like, we are all this specific religion, and we want to only have people as citizens who are a part of this religion or whatever. And that's a way to go about micronationalism, and that's a legitimate way to go about micronationalism. It's just not our way. It's not with the Empire of Eternia. We're not religiously based. We are not ideologically based. We don't have a specific conservative or liberal bent to us. We are about trying to create a better life for people and create it directly for them, not just allowing a whole bunch of freedoms. We don't have a constitution that says, you're allowed all these different rights and all this different stuff. We are about trying to directly improve the lives of people. When we have citizens, we want to be active in their lives and active in helping them to grow and to improve their living situation. So 100% we do support LGBT people, and even more than that, we support helping people live the lives that they want to. So I hope that can help answer other questions you might have as well. Tuff said, in thinking of making a militia, but how do I recruit people? That's sort of a difficult thing to do. I think that's something you need to talk to other micronationalists about. Like I said, there are a ton of people on our Discord. Links in the descriptions. Link in descriptions of different videos on our channel as well. There are a ton of people on our Discord who would love to talk to you about that, but we don't want a military, so we're not exactly the best to do it. Ritrack said, I think you just asked, to be completely honest. Ritrack said, I think you just asked, to be completely honest. Agreed. FLD said, 5th try, let's go. Yeah, we got it, dude. We eventually figured it out. It took us a minute, but we're out here. FLD said, circles are cool. Agreed. Ritrack said, wait, where is it? The micronational map? I will hit you up. I will hit you up right now with the link. Hold up. I'll drop it in the chat for everybody to see and appreciate. If we can actually get in there, sign into chat. Okay, I guess I gotta sign in on YouTube. New pin chat. Got it. Alright, we're in here. That's the link to the channel, which has our map on it. For Rich Rat. I got you. Jackson said, I'm going to melt some aluminum and lead and then make coins. And do you have a mailbox so I can send you a flag, like a P.O. box? So I appreciate it. We don't have a P.O. box as of yet because the P.O. boxes are expensive. But we are going to try and get one very, very soon. So that'll be something to look forward to. Because we absolutely do want to. Richrack said they got it. I'm super glad about that schnizzle. And yeah, I definitely think that that's something we're going to be doing in the future. I'm sorry we haven't done it yet. It's something that I want to do, but is difficult because it's expensive. It's like, I think for the ones that we have available to us, like $100-something a year, just for us to hold the P.O. box, And it would be a small P.O. box, too. It'd be something maybe that big, so if something doesn't fit in it, they'll either just return it or maybe hold it at the post office for us. But that heavily depends. So I think right now it's not the best investment for us, but once we get to monetization, once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we are hitting that P.O. box up. We'll also be starting to save toward that direction. So if that's what you guys want, pretty quickly we will be hitting up a P.O. box for it. That's one of the things that's interesting as well. So for talking about like gatekeeping on the micronational subreddit, There's Almondria. Almondria is like an almond-based micronation, which is sort of a meme thing. And they even say themselves they've always followed the subreddit's rules. However, we've now been cornered by newly proposed rules that seem to be put in place without any democratic decision, and that's very fair. The mods of this Reddit just kind of do what they want, for better or for worse. There's some things that I do think help the Reddit that they do and sort of thin things out, but at the same time, it is very limiting. Um, they say that you can't be the meme nation. So you can't post things that are just like fun and enjoyable and jokey for you, which I understand can be annoying to realist micronations who are trying to, see the all of the exciting things that are happening with their other realist micronation counterparts. But at the same time, there are plenty of people who just aren't doing anything. Like, I think if you heavily restricted the micronational subreddit to be only people who are doing the most realist things, and the most realist sounds like incorrect grammar, but who are doing the most serious things within their micronations, there would be a lot of nothing on the subreddit. There'd be very, very rare posts on the subreddit because it just there's so much that's just nothing in micronationalism. So much waiting to see developments in micronationalism. So I don't think you should limit people and say you can or can't be this type of micronation, because that's really dumb. I don't know why you would try and limit your audience like that and limit the amount of content you have coming to the Reddit like that, because you are going to just like push people away from the different things that they're interested in doing on the Reddit. Like you have all this potential to do cool things with the Reddit, and instead you're just going to kind of deny that and say, I don't know if that's really for me or whatever. I'm going to restrict our Reddit. Like, it's not the realist micronational Reddit, it's just the micronational Reddit. So I feel like anybody who says they are a micronation should be allowed on it. It's dumb that they're not. And I don't know how another micronational Reddit hasn't passed them up yet in number of like supporters. Because I feel like you kind of just could. It wouldn't be that crazy to just be like, no rules on this one, or very limited rules on this one, because it just seems silly. An opinion on semis. Okay. So there are a ton of people who are literally like weirded out about the whole simulationist thing, and what I would call fantastic micronations. They say, I'm writing this about the subreddit's rules, which apparently ban all simulationists from the sub. While I'm avoiding it, I do think there should be leeway for some simulationists. Agreed. I think it's weird. Hey, there we go. Some people posted an anthem, but again, it's a flag. Where if this was a drinking game, every time there's a flag, if you had to drink, this would be horrible. This would be a shame. Average political compass results. A lot of people do the political compass thing. Yeah, this is kind of what Almondria does. They're online. They do stuff like that's their like president and sheriff. So they are kind of goofy. They're a little bit silly. They're a little bit shaggy, and they're a little bit Fred. But they still do post interesting content. So I feel like they shouldn't be like restricted in the Reddit from posting content like that. FLD says, do you like Dr. Pepper? I do like Dr. Pepper. That's actually what I'm drinking. I'm not trying to rep Dr. Pepper or anything. It just happens to be what I'm drinking. I also really like root beer, and I drink that often on the stream. Water would be the healthiest thing. If I'm trying to prolong my life and longevity for my micronation, water is the real thing. Clean Gleam team contact. Is there any form of government in the Empire of Eternia yet? Like appointed or elected government officials? Or are you waiting until you have physical land to establish a government? Fantastic question, Gleam team. The best way I can respond to that is by saying the only thing we have officially right now is the emperorship. So we do have a Hall of the Empire within our Discord, which is a citizens-only chat that allows us to sort of vote on things, talk about things, have referendums about specific events, and allow other citizens in. I essentially ask the citizens, what do you think about this new person becoming a citizen? And people either accept or deny it. The thing that is difficult about that, and the thing that I really want to focus in on, is that we want to get some larger government created. But my big push with the Empire of Eternia has always been, I don't want to grow quicker than uh, is effective and is reasonable. So a lot of micronations will just create large governments and create lists of laws and will create huge constitutions and will have 45-page tax descriptions and things like that, and detailing how healthcare works in their micronation when they don't have any money, when there's no real physical land for them to grow on, when there isn't nearly the effort or desire for all of this that is uh, created for them. So, in our pursuit of sincere realism, in trying to create an actual country, what we are hoping to do is to wait until those different positions are necessary and then to instill them. Instead of creating a position and hoping that we find a need for it, we instead wait until we have an absolute need for a position and then create it. If we create uh, uh, a new government office, if we create the office of YouTube or whatever, but I'm the only person who's really running the YouTube most of the time, it's not efficient. It doesn't make sense for us to have someone whose whole job is to oversee something that I do anyway. So, what we are trying to do is wait until there's enough that I essentially have to take it off of my plate. One of the things that we have been looking at is trying to do something like that for our social media, but we want to wait until we have enough citizens that there can become a hierarchy that's specifically based around some need. So, whether we're dealing with economics, whether we're dealing with whatever, we want to make sure that there's enough that's specifically supporting that person that we can then elect one to be the leader of that specific interest or that specific group. There isn't a need to have a leader over a very small group of people when it can just be run by the emperor. Until it becomes something that needs to be taken out of my hands because it's too large, we won't create a new government position for that. We just went up a subscriber, I believe, which is really cool because that means we're actually getting close to 1,000, and I appreciate y'all for that. But that's the big idea, is that we want to wait until it's absolutely necessary. If you guys have ideas for that, definitely hit me up. But we're trying to wait. We're trying to not necessarily wait till we have land, but we're trying to wait until it's absolutely necessary, which will probably be before we have land, but not quite yet. I think the next thing that we will do is actually kind of a weird move. Instead of electing like ministers or things like that right away, we're probably going to have my second in command as the next position available. After my emperorship has been declared, the next thing that I think will be necessary for us is to determine who my second in command is. Because instead of going from subdividing the amount of work that goes into running the nation from one person to like 6 people, which creates a big bureaucracy and creates a ton of argument and a ton of essentially just people either waiting and doing nothing but having a title, or people who are constantly trying to fight over who owns what and who does what things and how things should be done. We are instead going to subdivide it from 1 person to 2 person, and then whenever 2 people, and then whenever we have further need for the creation of other ministries, other positions in the government, we will then create those as needed. So I really think it's going to start off with just 1 person, me, then 2 people, and then we'll start going into smaller and smaller positions under them. Um, we're going up. Clean and Gleam team asked the question about government. I hope that answered your question. Let me know if it did or not. Jackson said, AP, I think I have a sinkhole under my house, and my pond is getting bigger. Wait, I can sell crawfish like blue and red and white ones for money. Agreed. You should definitely do that. As being from South Louisiana, I love crawfish, and crawfish boils, crab boils are a staple for me. I absolutely love them. So I think that is a good idea, especially if you're in an area where people do eat crawfish. Richrack said, any recommendations for national anthems? I bet you can scroll down the Micronational subreddit and find a ton. Look at this one. Check out these people's micronational anthem. One of the things that I'll say, a lot of people do micronational anthems based on the anthems of other countries. So like the God Save the Queen one, I think up here for them, the Dominion of New England, their stuff is based on England and New England and stuff like that. It's based on the British Empire. So their God Save the Queen national anthem is based on Britain's national anthem. But I actually recommend going the other route. The Empire of Eternia, our national anthem, which you can check out on our website over here, is actually this thing up top, on the top of the website, if you guys can see it, right there, which is by a different composer entirely, a modern composer, and that I don't think is the national anthem of any other country. I believe it is free for us to use. It's not something that is copyrighted or anything. So it's something that is by another artist entirely, which we need to give full credit for. And part of the reason why I'm not giving you the name of the song right now, but this is our national anthem. I definitely recommend you check it out on our website, but it's a modern song. It has like sort of not techno, but like electronic sort of feel to it. And for me, it's about, being inspirational, but also giving like a cinematic feel to it, making it feel like a movie a little bit, making it feel like, you're excited and looking toward the future, looking toward new technologies, looking toward progress. And that's really what defines Eternia for me, and that's why our micronational anthem is what it is because we're trying to further that idea of who we are based around our anthem. Don't just pick, an old stuffy sounding anthem from another macronation, or from another micronation even. Find a song you like, one that preferably doesn't have lyrics to it, or that you can change the lyrics to, or something like that, and something that isn't going to be so well recognized that somebody's going to say, that's not your anthem, that's this song, don't do Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, that like meme, never gonna give you up, don't do stuff like that, because people are gonna be like, that's not your song. Don't do like a Britney Spears song or something like that. Don't do like a Justin Bieber song, whatever, because people are gonna know they're gonna recognize it as that artist's song before they'll recognize it as your micronation's anthem. But if you can find sort of a not well known, kind of obscure song, and you can popularize it as your anthem, people will support it a lot more. Jackson Gaming said Rickroll. Yep, that's exactly what we were talking about. The Rickroll thing, never gonna give, is one not to do, because people will just know it as a Rickroll and not as your anthem. Good afternoon. How are you, Prince Andrew Carter? We have 12 viewers right now. I appreciate y'all for that. Again, if any of you aren't subscribed, we have a lot of subscribers. We have a lot of people who watch our videos who say they don't ever see notifications for them after they watch the initial one. So if you want to subscribe to us, it helps us get to 1,000, and it also ensures that you can keep up with us and that we can know what you're up to as a micronationalist. Tuff said they really love root beer and cream soda. Red cream soda was a huge thing for me as a kid in South Louisiana. I love red cream soda. Root beer is a substance from the gods. Pretty solid stuff, agreed. FLD said, which root beer, Barks, Mugs, or A&W? I've been on a Barks kick recently. A&W I don't really like that much because it's really sweet. I either go Barks or Mug most of the time. World War II history buff says, can I use music that exists for my anthem? Yes, you can use music that exists. Most people do. FLD says, I'm from the Midwest, so they don't make sense. Sorry. No, all of those are like national brands. That's perfectly fine. I know all of those. Richrack says, you can, but if you compose or hit keys on a piano, that would be better. Depending. If you like can make a song that you really like, that's great. But also, if you like find one that you really like, do that. Richrack says, nah, Barks is national, and so are the other two. I really like A&W and Barks, but would choose A&W. A&W is too sweet for me, you guys. Y'all are killing me with A&W. I like mugging A&W most of the time, but I prefer the expensive exotic stuff you can only find in gas stations like Virgil's. Virgil's isn't that exotic. I know about Virgil's. Also, 13 viewers. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're trying to get to that watch time. We need 2,000 watch time hours. So if y'all can help us blow through that by just watching the video and just staying a part of it, that helps us to get to monetization. Right now, with this 13 viewers, you know, if we held that for like 2 hours, so much watch time. 26 hours of watch time that would be. So I appreciate y'all. Michael says, in my Micronation, we will build a home aircraft carrier and we will try to land ultralight airplanes on it. That's pretty cool, but that also sounds like a huge ambition and a lot of money. So you better be a crazy rich nation. Socialist Republic of Libertad, excuse me, I was like, Liberland's on here? What? That's crazy. Socialist Republic of Libertad said, hello, I just subscribed my fellow Micronation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your subscription, and I'm excited to see you as a part of our feed. It means a lot. You might have been the person that we saw tick up there a second ago. Thank you very, very much. FLD says, start the Hamilton music. You could definitely do that. Rachel Veer says, your goals are mindful and grounded, AP. I like it. I appreciate it. Thank you. We really are trying to create a country. And that's the goal, you know. I want to make something that lasts after I'm gone. And I want to make sure that the people who I leave to do it have a good enough setup to feel comfortable running it. And also to make sure that even with the worries and the chaos that might happen in the future of micronationalism, that there's enough there that can be preserved into running a successful country, and that also has enough wiggle room to be able to change with the times. It's a hard thing to do, and it's going to take a lot of forethought, but I hope I can do it right, or at least do the future justice. FLD says, about the right-hand man, LOL. Agreed. I gotta find my right-hand man. That's probably not the Hamilton music at all. I've never seen it. So don't shit on me for it. Cleaning Glean, I'm sorry if I ruined your Hamilton reference. Cleaning Glean team said they reminded me of something. One of my relatives owns a massive boat thing that's sort of like an aircraft carrier, but not one. Is there anything to stop someone from establishing a micronation or a boat and having people live there? No, that's called seasteading. I think he knows quite a bit. Yeah, so that is called seasteading. People completely do that. There have been lots of attempts. The thing that's dangerous about it is international waters is the best place to try and start a micronation like that, because it means that, you know, you're outside of the territory of other nations. You don't have to pay fees. You don't have to be stopped by coast guards and things like that, or navies. But the difficulty with that is that if there's ever a storm or something, or if if you have to try and get food for your nation, it's hard, or clean drinking water out in the ocean, it's hard and expensive to do so. There are also pirates. If you go out into international waters, there are other people in international waters who can take your vessel and kill you, and they don't have to be, worried about another government coming after them because you were out in international waters. You were, you don't have any claim but your own when you're out in international waters. So people can kill you and take your things, and you have to be prepared to defend that if that's what your attempt is going to be. FLD said, yeah. Jackson Gaming says, can you pull up a video on YouTube about Micronation right now on stream? I can pull up videos. It's possible. Socialist Republic of Libertad says, well, I just made a news video recognizing your country. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. We will check it out and review it. My dad has an ultralight plane, but it blew up. That's crazy. I hope he's okay. Ritrack said, that really sucks. Michael said, wow. Yeah, that is crazy. I hope he's okay, and I hope you're okay, and I hope that eventually you can get a new plane. I am going to Google that video. What is it? Excuse me. I'm burping out here. I'm getting those Dr. Pepper burps. Socialist Republic of Libertad. Boop. Googling. That's another hard thing as well. Until you get to a certain like amount of success on YouTube, YouTube will just mess you up on your views. Last hour. Hey, there we go. Ellen and Libertad recognizes the Empire of Eternia. Let's hit it up. Let's view it. Hello to the Grand Republic that we live is shall recognize the Empire of Eternia. We hope to be seen as a legitimate nation. Ooh, I like that. Hold up. I'm going to center it for you guys. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. This is crazy. This is crazy. I got to get it centered for y'all. Uh-oh. There we go. Ooh. Hello, the Grand Republic that we live shall recognize the Empire of Eternia. Hope to be seen as a legitimate nation. President Trinity. Hey, thank you, President Trinity. I appreciate you. That is pretty cool. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you for helping us grow. And I definitely think you will be a legitimate nation one day. I certainly hope you are. Just remember to work hard at it. Keep going for it. And plan things out in detail. We have a ton of videos about, economics. We have a ton of videos about culture. It's important to just watch that stuff, learn about it, and learn about history. Learn about everything you can to try and figure out the steps it takes to build your nation from today to tomorrow to the next day to the next month to the next year. Tuff said he's fine. It was because they used the wrong fuel. That's crazy. My boy hit up 100% hydrogen in his aircraft. My boy went down like the Hindenburg. I hope they're okay, and I'm glad he's okay. It sucks about that aircraft. I'm sorry to hear that. It's a shame. Clean and Gleam team said, yeah, I personally would establish a military if I was going to do that. I don't like violence, but it would be a defense force that also provide humanitarian aid to other micronations if I did so. Yeah, if you were like in the ocean, I would definitely understand creating like a defense force. That just would be necessary. Because it's hard, like people may attack you out there, and it would be dangerous not to have some sort of defensive capabilities. And we're gonna keep jamming to some Pink. Gonna keep jamming. What y'all think? Shout out to Pink for all their sweet jams that they're giving us. And yeah. Ooh, this was interesting. I do like a lot of the micronational, like just art stuff that's posted, which is really, really cool. Next in Republic, LIN head chairman, ISAF head chairman. That's pretty cool. They made a cool art thing. More proposed flags. Dominion of Steel and Iron live stream sort of thing. Micronationalists beware. COVID-19. Everybody's worried about COVID. It's an issue. Roan McCulley, no longer the leader of some stuff. Yep. Hey, people leaving the Reddit. Yep, that's just a thing. That's just a thing that happens all the time, and it's really sad. We're about to talk about that. Clean and Gleam team said, Tuff said, did you really just say 100% hydrogen? I did. I did. They went down with a bomb. That's what the Hindenburg did. The Hindenburg tried to use hydrogen as their fuel, and they fucked up. And not as their fuel, as their material to be stored in their balloon. And it was incredibly flammable, and they blew up. Hydrogen, that bad stuff. Hydrogen, that naughty. You don't want hydrogen. You don't want to use hydrogen as your fuel. You can if it's done properly, but it's incredibly dangerous to just use hydrogen. And you should be careful with that. It's dangerous. That's a wrap on that. Don't do it. I wonder what kind of fuel they were using. Can you tell us? Like what kind of fuel your dad's plane hit up? Because that does sound scary. So for anyone else trying to fly ultralight aircraft that won't fuck up and blow it up, definitely let us know what kind of fuel they were using for preventing future disasters for other micronations and other aviation's aficionados. Because that sounds freaky. I like the deaky. Our thing still isn't loading. I don't know why this Reddit is being garbage right now. All I want to do is view their post. It says, anyway, basically, as based as You Soaring Moon is as a mod for this sub, I'm tired of all the war here, and Monmarch won't be on this sub for the rest of the month. If it hasn't improved by then, we will leave the Reddit community entirely. Yeah, they're like dipping. Monmarch just dipped out. They're like, we're not even dissolving our Micronation. They're like, we just don't like the subreddit because it's toxic. Toxic. This is not good. It's not helpful. It's harmful. Malasia used to do an awards show, which is an interesting thing to find out. I didn't know about that. There's a frog. This a leader in the micronational community for North Chad. Raj the frog. Everybody praise Raj. Raj is dope. Island property for sale in Woohoo Town. Look at that. Pretty crazy. What do you think will be your Micronation's biggest challenge? Out of 58 people on the Micronational Reddit, 10 people said income, 14 people said land acquisition, 17 people said permanent residence, 5 people said food production, 3 people said trade, 9 people said we're simulationists. Yeah, so all of that, this question is geared toward more physical micronations. So yeah, that's a huge thing. Well, permanent residence, I think, is just sort of the last in all of those. Not necessarily that it would be the hardest. Once you have land, once you have income, once you have food production and trade, permanent residence shouldn't be that crazy a thing. Like, people will come and live there after all of that is established. I think the hardest thing is doing all of it, trying to start from somewhere and get up to there. I think probably trade is one of the hardest to actually get started from the ground up and make successful and continuous. I also think on top of trade, a huge thing that's gonna be a determining factor for someone's micronation is getting land. Land is the most expensive thing if you're trying to purchase it by yourself. That's really hard to do, and if you're trying to purchase it with your micronation's money. People saying, that their parents' land is theirs and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine. If it's your land that you can work with, that's reasonable. But eventually, if your micronation does want to succeed and keep growing, it needs land that is established purely for that purpose, that other people can live on. More than likely, if it's your parents' land, they probably don't want you inviting strangers to live there forever. So you're going to eventually need land that is just solely for the purpose of your micronation and having other people live on it that you want to live there. And that all being the case, it is incredibly hard to do so without having the money. So getting enough trade to be able to purchase land is probably the hardest thing. The Hindenburg used ethanol for the engines, I think. Interesting. I didn't know about that. Woohoo, Clean and Gleam said, actually, woohoo, oops, I sent the comment before I finished. That's alright. Retry said the Hindenburg used ethanol for the engines. That's interesting. I didn't know that, but that's pretty cool. Ethanol is like drinking alcohol, though, right? That's crazy. Jackson Gaming says, sorry AP, but I think I'm going to call it a night, but I might post a video of my micronation. Can you recognize Greenistan as a micronation? I recognize just about all micronations. Like, if you call yourself a micronation, that is fine enough for me. I recognize that you want to be a micronation. That is cool. Congratulations, dude. I'm excited to see what you do. Clean and Gleam team said, I'm actually interested in seasteading now. It's very interesting. It sure is. If you guys are interested in seasteading, I hope that we can put out a video soon, because we have started to make a boat in the Empire of Eternia, and that's something I want to talk about in the future. Michael Prieto said, I found a very weird lemon in my lemon tree. Well, I wonder what a lemon is. Is it a mix between an apple and a lemon? These are the questions. Tuff said, where we meant to use 70-ish octane gas with oil mixed in like a 2-stroke engine or like a lawnmower, we actually used 87 grade gas. That's pretty crazy. So just a lot more flammable. That's crazy. Ritrack said, oh, yes, trade is hard, but online is pretty okay. Michael Prieto said it is on the Reddit. Oh, the lemon. We'll have to check that out. FLD said, I know there's some pretty empty land in Nebraska, and he said AP's a Chad. I hope I'm not a Chad. I don't know what that is, but I used to. My dad used to know a guy named Chaz. I don't think I've ever met a guy named Chad. That's interesting. These are the questions. Let me go check out this lemon on the Micronational subreddit. Maybe. Ooh, this is the lemon. This is the lemon. I'm getting those ads. Another. Okay. This is interesting. So this flag is just the U.S. flag without the blue and without the stars. It's fair, I guess. Nixon Republic doing a whole bunch of stuff. National Democratic Union flag. Is that like Cuba's flag but without stuff? There's I think a couple South American nations that have that flag, or Central American nations. New post limit policy for Micronation. Some of you have realized there's a new bot added to the list of subreddit. Set one post, two posts per 24-hour period. That's dumb. I hope that by capping the post frequency, some of the users who have been making excessively frequent posts will be more selective about the quality of the threads they submit. Moderation staff is still considering and taking feedback on which kind of threads should be discouraged here in the future. Discord dramedy, low quality announcement posts, etc. Additionally, hello, my name is Soaring Moon, your new moderator here on the Reddit, I guess. That's dumb. That's a really dumb thing. They shouldn't do that. Somebody builds Bradley's flag in Minecraft. That's pretty cool. I don't, cause like even us, like I feel like we have some cool stuff. Poutine, the national flag of Spratly. That's pretty dope. Libernesian Republic. That's pretty dope. More flags, of course. Regarding simulationism, our drink Tanaculan mess. It looks like ice cream and maybe boba, but it looks like ice cream and caramel. That's really just what it looks like. Tanaculan mess. It looks like ice cream and caramel. Empire of Sumeria, it's doing stuff. Phoenix Foundation. That's interesting. A whole bunch of people asking like requests for stuff, like questions. Okay, hold up. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Tough said Mega Chad. Chad is Epic Boy. Chad McThunder. Oh my god. Michael said it's higher up. Retry said Nexan Republic is nice. I am still trying to learn more about the Nexan Republic. They seem interesting. For sure, it seems like they're doing stuff. Tough said message redacted. FLD said Chad is an epic boy, which means AP is Chad because he epic. I hope that's a positive thing. I feel like I'm old. I don't know the memes for that, but I appreciate you, I guess. What is your micronation stance on environmental conservation? American-based micronations. What region are you located in? East Coast. Whole bunch of people on the East Coast. East Coast. That's where we need to be doing shit. I really want more micronations to hit up our stuff and be on our map because we're trying to start doing more regionally, and so we really want y'all to hit us up and to come do our thing. And so we wanna know as many micronations as we can doing that stuff. They put a dunce hat on a thing. Interesting. So is that the new flag? Is it a dunce hat on the old flag? I guess. Considering tighter restrictions on content, of course, like most of the posts now on the Micronation subreddit are just making the Micronation subreddit more restrictive, which I think is a bad idea. There's just a cute cute girl on the Eleanor of Stemeria. She's, I guess, the princess. She was born recently. Growing families on the Micronation subreddit. Territory map of Lucijan. Lucijan Research Lab, looking like 2 laptops, 3 laptops. Holy shit, so many laptops. Monmarch cease activity on the Reddit. What even is Monmarch? People roasted the shit out of them. Plamian best carved pumpkin for Halloween contest. That's pretty cool. It was the ooh woo face. We got a whole bunch of stuff on here. Lots of things. Hair Brushia declares independence. See, there's some meme nations, and I feel like they would restrict all of that now. I feel like they're just going to stop letting those nations exist on the Reddit, which sucks, because I feel like it is a legitimate part of the community. Cleaning Gleam team said, oops. Are you good? Like, you could just send stuff in the comments, it's fine. Retry said, I am East Coast. Somebody hit us up on the creating their nation on the micronational map. If you're a part of our Discord, you can hit us up to be on the micronational map. If you're not a part of our Discord, you can email me at eternianempire@gmail.com. I will also put that link in that description. I'll actually put it in the chat. To be on map, email eternianempire@gmail.com with flag pick, approximate location of nation, leader's name, and contact info to be added to the map. Boom. Cause yeah, that's important. We really want to try and like figure out where we're gonna do micronational conferences, and I think the first one is probably gonna be on the East Coast, because there seems to be more micronations on the East Coast of the U.S. than anywhere else, and it's super important for us to be able to do that and to know where those micronations are. Because the more that we know about where micronations are, the more we can figure out about what the micronational community needs, and it gives us a way to define the easiest way for us all to connect and how often we can connect and stuff. So it's really, really important. Michael said, I will put link in the comments. Please do. Christmas Island Mapping says, that's my micro. Lucian is. That's awesome. I would be excited to see them on the micronational map. Hit us up. Be in our Discord. Let us know more about Lucian. And let us know what your thoughts are on the micronational Reddit. Terry Hopper says, you'll find many seller finance listings. You only pay maybe $250. Take my advice if you want land and you have little money. Go on eBay, look for land under the real estate category. You can then refine your search by state. That's pretty cool. But do be careful, because land can have like liens and stuff on it. Land can have like previous debts, or can be very restricted on land type. So be careful. You'll find many seller finance listings. You only pay maybe $250 to $500 down. Then you can finance through the owner for the remainder of the amount. That's pretty cool. Again, you just got to be careful with it. Is the biggest thing. Terry said, you can get a few acres of cheap land in your chosen state for only a couple grand doing this. I did it. Even if there's no house on that land, you can still park your RV on it and go from there. That's pretty cool if you have an RV, absolutely. Tuff said, I'm not East Coast, but I'm in Mississippi, so pretty close. There are other micronations in Mississippi on our map right now. So you should, there's like 4 of them. So you should definitely hit that up. There are like multiple micronations in Mississippi, so we might just do that as well. There are 3 right now. So if all like near Memphis as well, near Tennessee. So we might just do one either in Alabama or in Tennessee, and if everybody can meet there, that would be really cool. If we did it on like the eastern part of Tennessee, most people could get there, and that would be awesome. We're gonna go back to talking about some of these comments real quick while we stay on the Reddit. You can't do anything on this subreddit with being called a simi, and that's a fact. That's pretty accurate. Um, so Terry said, even Tough said, I'm not on the East Coast, but I'm in Mississippi. Agreed. You should definitely let us know for the micronational map your information so we can throw it on there. Clean and Gleam team said, I already have around 12 citizens whom I've met physically in real life. So when I do establish a physical micronation, whether seasteading or on land, I'll already have a permanent population of 12 people. That's very, very cool. Do you think they'll all permanently live in your micronation and not move? Because that's what a permanent population is. They have to like stay there and like have families there and stuff. So that's a harder thing to accomplish. Terry Hopper says, make sure when you buy there are no homeowners association and you get off the warrant and you get the warranty deed when you are done paying it off. Agreed. That's very important as well. Thank you for the solid advice, Terry Hopper. Christmas Island Mapping said, I'm in your Discord. That's awesome. Then you should definitely join our micronational map. Christmas Island Mapping, we want you in our micronational map. We want you like that. Terry Hopper said, yep, always do your own due diligence in purchasing land. Again, research the warranty deed and have your notarized contract with the seller. Good luck in your land acquirement. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm definitely like attempting to move forward with that. It's hard, and it's something that we're trying to figure out the right way to do. As far as like placement of our land, and as well in what we can do. We definitely don't want a homeowners association. We also ideally want to try to find something that's like agricultural land or that is recreational land, because there's plenty of land that isn't even like homeowners association based, but that is still residentially defined. And we want to be able to both have industrial equipment there and also have people live there. So we want there to be as little zoning requirement as possible to allow us to do that. Terry said, yep, always do your own diligence. Christmas Island Mapping said they emailed me. I definitely appreciate it, and I will be hitting you up soon with a reply on that, because I definitely want to throw you on that micronational map. FLD said, could I make propaganda for Eternia? We absolutely do want you to make propaganda. Yes, if you are in our Discord, which I believe you are, FLD, hit us up. We need stuff to post on our Twitter and on our Instagram for the Empire of Eternia. So please, please do. We need more content. We're trying to especially grow on Twitter, so hit us up. It's just important for us. The more we can grow on other social media platforms, the more we can direct people to our streams and to our YouTube channel, and it all kind of feeds each other. The more we grow on here, the more we grow on other social media. The more we grow on other social media, the more we grow here. So it's super important that we do that, and then all of that trickles down into our ability to grow our micronational market as well. And then vice versa, our micronational market and its success helps us to grow our other stuff, our social medias. Ooh, this one sounds pretty good. I'm going to try and listen to this. Again, this is Pink. If y'all like the music we're playing on stream, y'all should check out Pink. All of this is free for profit music that we use from them. So yeah, we're going to keep going down the subreddit. Ooh, that's a pretty cool flag. I actually do like that flag. It's like a rose with a star and like different colors. That's very cool. It seems like it could be a gay pride thing. I don't think it is because it's not the gay pride flag, but it does look cool. Ooh, flag evolution of Lucian. Ooh, this is your nation Christmas Island mapping. So you go from a communist yellow, white, and black, the sickle and hammer, to the sickle and hammer in red and blue. With kind of a Norway-looking, Sweden-looking thing. I think it's Norway. Then you go like almost full Norway-looking with the blue, white, and yellow. Two different blues, white and yellow. And then you go blue and white, pretty plain. I respect it. And then you went back. That's interesting. So then you went back to the original. That's pretty cool. First come, first serve for flag creation. If y'all want flags created, y'all check them out. Soaring Moon on the micronational Reddit, who's also apparently the new mod for the micronational Reddit. I feel like it seems like they're imposing harsh shit as a mod, but maybe they're great as a flag creator. I don't know. Um, Hold up. FLD said, I'll get started tomorrow on creating content for us. Thank you very much. Christmas Island Mapping said, yep. Then they said, no, that's the first flag. Got it. Well, whenever you posted like an around thing, it seems like you went back. Like it seems like you went back to whichever one was the first one. The flag of the flag of the League of Sovereign Micronations. This seems like a thing, like we've talked about, where people start a micronational organization and they try and grow it, and then they don't have like a way to actually make it beneficial for their micronational organization, for the members of the micronational organization. So it either falls apart or just stagnates, which is really hard to see. But I hope they figure it out. Hey, Luke Jen, they posted. Luke Jen said, if you answered the last opinion, which most did, it makes sense because we're almost 2 weeks old. What's solution? Yeah, that's fair enough. But there are a lot of people who like hit up with an opinion. So it's cool that people do know about your nation, especially on Reddit. A lot of people don't know about our nation on Reddit. So if they don't, that's fine. First snow of the year in the Federation of New England. Yes, it's snowing in October. That's beautiful. We showed that earlier on stream. It is really, really pretty. I love that picture. What do you think of Spratly? A lot of people know what Spratly is, apparently. Most people are like, they don't really have an opinion. Some people say it's great, though. The same amount of people say it's great, and the same amount of people say it's bad, but they didn't comment why, which is interesting. I'm back. Olarentia said they're back. They dissolved as a result of the restrictions imposed by our local government. The interdiction to assemble the increased enforcement vehicles activity that spurred our peace and fauna, and economical crash that forced our partners to close, eventually defeated my micronation. Though defeated, being a micronational for 8 years of the last 4 were more active gave me valuable experience. I have troubles agreeing with centralized autocratic world. I will always stand with the... I imagine it's going to say like micronational community. That's very cool. Weird promoted ad. What is your opinion on the socialist states of Tanicula? Never heard of him. A lot of people do that. Like, what is your thoughts on this? This is cool because it's a flag made up of like multiple different flags. That's kind of unique. I haven't seen that actually. I do want to say a lot of micronations are on the East Coast on our map. A few of them are on the West Coast. Some of them are in Texas and in the South. I feel like there are quite a few in the South. But everybody's kind of spread out. The least spread out ones are on the East Coast. So I definitely recommend that we try and get more understanding of who all is on the East Coast and how we can get together. Because that shit's really, really important for us. We want to try and grow. We want to try and get the micronational community together in person. Ritrack says, I've also sent an email. I think my flag looks neat. Agreed. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see y'all's email, and I'm excited to add more to the micronational map. Christmas Island Mapping said, I made that flag. Thanks. Yeah, agreed. They do look cool. I really fuck with them. Y'all have cool, unique, interesting designs. There's a ton of like really creative people on the micronational subreddit, and I feel like that's gonna be something that gets whittled down, unfortunately, with the new moderation that's happening. I'm really worried about how it's gonna go. Luke Shen, again, with the cool like double flag thing, I really like it. I actually haven't seen this before in a flag that's like it's like an X with multiple different colors in the X. It looks almost like the Simon Says game where you like press the different buttons. I really like it, and they like light up. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but it used to be a game where you like press a button and it does a pattern, and then it repeats the pattern to you. It looks cool. Taniculan Navy flag, that one's kind of interesting. I haven't seen the like different lengths of stripe before. That one's unique. But it does feel like it would look a little weird on a flagpole, I must say. It depends on which way you fly it, I guess. I think it would look cooler if it was like the other way. Like if it was a flag that hangs down and one of them was one length and one of them was like shorter. If it hung like this with this side, like where the stars are, as being at the top, and then it hung down. That would be cool. Like a row of a column, I guess, of stars, and then two columns with the lines going down. Uh, uh, so me seeing all the posts about a war, what they doing over there? They got memes out here. 34 people liked that. 34 people liked a cat meme. That's crazy. MCA map. That's cool. Kingdom of Nishbar. Is this like a known thing? There's 34 people that liked a cat meme. I don't even fully understand the cat meme. Do other people uh do other people like get what this is talking about? Cuz 34 people liked this meme. I'm blown away. Is this like a popular thing? Somebody's got to explain this. Um KTM said, I'm making my video for you. It should be ready and sent to you by tomorrow or Monday. I'm really hyped. Thank you. Definitely keep up with us. Typical Plant said, yo, what's going on, Typical Plant? I'm not sure if you've been here before, but we're a micronational YouTube channel. It means we're all about creating countries. We're trying to create a real country with real citizens. And we are trying to do that by growing our YouTube channel and by making products to be purchased online. So if you're interested in that, I definitely recommend you subscribe to learn about us and all the other micronations that we hang out with and talk to on our Discord, on Twitter, on Instagram, all these places. So if you're interested, subscribe, and it helps us to move toward a more consistent, stable economy for our future nation. Plus, we have fun with it. KTM said they're going to be sending us a video. Appreciate that. Michael said, how can I put my micronation on the map? So if you scroll up a little bit in the comments, we actually put a comment, Michael, that says, to be on the map, email eternianempire@gmail.com with flag pic, approximate location of nation, leader's name, and contact info to be added to the map. So if you go up, you'll find our comment. It's highlighted, and you can actually join by copying that email address, emailing us with that information. Let me know if you get that, and let me know if you understand how to do it. Ritrack said, I do not know what the MACP tungsten war is. Agreed. I have no idea about that. I've seen posts about that war, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, but there are a whole bunch of people. I guess that's the meme, is that everybody sees it, but nobody knows what they're talking about. I'm confused. I wish there was a medium, like, I wish there was a flag that was just stuck out to the side. It's like, I have no idea what the fuck y'all are talking about. Is Halloween. How's your micronation going to be celebrating? That's a cute one. I'll give that a like. Pop-up cabin designed to be built in a thing. That's an inspiration for the Nexian Nexian Republic, I guess. Nexian Republic. That's their idea for housing. MSB Yorkshire coronavirus cases. Which looks better, my flag without the circle and gun or with it? Let's check out their flag, I guess. I feel like the circle is cool. If you replace the gun with something else, it'd probably be better. I like the yellow circle. I think the gun is weird in it, but the yellow circle like goes with it. Also, another pink beat. Chilling on the pink beats. Yeah, you know what we think about micronations. Chilling every day, and we're trying to get through this station. Hey, trying to grow up. Trying to make it, trying to blow up. And I'm done rapping, because this is getting boring. And I'm really classy and classic. Like, oh my. Get back to it another time. Maybe I'll rap again. Who are we? Are we friends? What are we doing tonight? Hey. Yeah, it's just there's a ton of micronations on here which post their maps. Hey, another anthem. Every once in a while you'll find an anthem, and I do appreciate it. Stamaria, again, blowing up the Reddit. Stamaria is hella popular on the Reddit. Well, not by this one, apparently. They got 0 likes on that one, but sometimes they get like 1 million likes on the Reddit, and sometimes they have 0 likes on the Reddit. I don't know how Stamaria is doing it. MP5 Daddy. That's their name. Their name is MP5 Daddy. No wonder they have an MP5 on their flag. MP5 Daddy said this. So we're just going to zoom in on MP5 Daddy. KTM said it's a mystery war. Yeah, it is. That's what the war is about, to see if people can figure out what it is. If you don't know what it is, you're losing the war. Lowe's Boy said, speaking of news, Wegmats elections have just finished. We don't have a winner yet because we have a 2-round voting system. That's cool. Did Biden win? Did Biden win the Wegmat elections? KCM said, what's the most liked part of all time on post of all time on the subreddit? That's a great question. We'll have to look that up. The MACP Tungsten War is a war that was supposed to be a micronational world war. It never happened. Oh, that's lame. I was hoping that would be cooler. Lowe's Boy said it never happened. Ooh, people are saying they can't hear Pink. Is that accurate? It's just hella low. There we go. My bad, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all couldn't hear Pink. Is this better? Are y'all getting the fresh jams now? I thought y'all were getting those jams before. I didn't realize. They weren't at your door. I didn't realize. Oh, goodness. I gotta fix it. Hope that's better. Hope it's a little different. Hey. KTM said, LOL, I low-key want a micro world war. I think it'd be interesting. Like, I don't support micronational war at all, but I think if everybody put into it, it'd be one of the largest things in the micronational community, just because everybody, like, does like micronational war for some reason. Retry said, I run a political account on Twitter. 2 Congress people follow me, LOL. That's awesome. You should give us a shout out. Retry, give us a shout out on your actual successful Twitter. We have like 50 followers on Twitter right now, and it's so sad. We have like 200 something on Instagram, but for some reason our Twitter is booty. Check out our Twitter. Somebody please check out our Twitter. Go watch my G Emperor AP. He's pretty neat. He does micronations, micronationalism like me. Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Ooh, you already did it. You already did give me some shout out. Thank you, Richrat. I appreciate you. Always. And then I'm gonna put a little smiley meme. I'm gonna put a heart, hearts all around it, like a teenage girl that just got Starbucks, feeling loved. Hashtag blessed. Thank you, Richrack. I appreciate you. I didn't even have to ask, and he did it. Ooh. 537 followers. This boy is blowing up over here. Successful. Hey, people are following me now. Hey, look, already like that. Richrack has the influence. Going up to 52. Ooh, I appreciate you. Richrack hit us up without even realizing it. That's very, very cool. Ooh, whole bunch of stuff. Is that your thing, Richrack? Is that it? Was that your Twitter? I'm pretty sure it is, because it said you, but just checking. Christmas Island Mapping said I'm there. Again, everybody shout out Pink. I just want to shout him out. Also, thank you for telling me that y'all couldn't hear it at all. I didn't realize that this entire stream, but maybe people are coming back now for it. Maybe they're like, yeah, I got the lo-fi jams. Christmas Island Mapping said they're the Chancellor of Lucian. That's pretty cool. Congratulate Chancellor and President. That's impressive. Those Boy says, I hate Micronation subreddit. The micros never last long or are interesting. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird to see that there's like a huge amount of like flags. There's a ton of flags. There's a ton of people. There's some people who talk like printing money. Okay, that's an interesting conversation. Cleaning up misinformation about the Tungsten Pack and MACP war. There's a whole bunch of shit. This isn't just a LARP. There's been an actual invasion, and as shown in previous posts about the war, were taken and they surrender. So it does seem kind of like LARP, but whatever. A friendly reminder, smile, it makes people feel better. It's free. Don't you tell me what to do. This is a 41 liked thing. This is probably the most liked thing on the Reddit. I disliked it because don't tell me to smile. I always smile. Look at, I'm cheesing right now, boy. Don't tell me what to do. I'm just joking. That was probably a really sweet tweet post in the Reddit. FLD said they're working on the first bit of propaganda. I appreciate you, FLD. That means a lot to me. They also said, Ritrack, you have influence then? Agreed. Ritrack does. They have the memes. They have the game out here. Lozboy says a prevalent micronation, Osvaria, invaded another prevalent micronation, Sayville, but they never did anything. How do you invade them? Did they show up? Did they kick in the door? Did they say, give me your money? I don't know. Did they get MP5 Daddy in on it? That would be the real issue. Ritrack said, can I ask for them to propose bills? I can ask for them to propose bills. That's pretty cool. You should ask them to propose bills that micronations are recognized by the U.S. and by states and by city governments. Tough said it's a little quiet, but we hear it. That's cool. I'll turn it up a little bit more for y'all. I'll give you those light jams. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Because I can turn down my personal stuff and then turn up this for y'all. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me know if you hear it. Let me know if it's good for y'all. A prevalent micronation. Tough said it's a little quiet, but we hear it. Ritrack said because that's their job. Agreed. KTM said you run a micronation too. Ritrack said OML. I don't know if that's on my life or what. FLD said no. Ritrack said nice. Ritrack said nice. Morgan Schaefer Jr. said 20 USA. But Morgan Schaefer, they lost though, bro. I mean, support them, but they lost though, bro. FLD said yee. Lozboy said follow Prime Minister Colbert. Ooh woo. I appreciate it. Is that you, Lozboy? Is that you? Follow him. Follow him up. Clean and Gleam team said Trump already lost, but okay. Ooh, got the clap back on him. Ritrack said that's my main account. I appreciate that. That's very cool. FLD said I made the first thing of propaganda. Want me to send it to you on Discord or email? Either one. Discord's probably the easiest way to do it. And we'll check it out too. If you hit us up on Discord, we will look at it. Blake McDonald sent us a whole bunch of stuff. Ooh, hitting us up with information. Okay, so we're not gonna dox Blake McDonald out here. Just kind of did, but whatever. Perfect. Hello, I'm new. Hey. At Blake McDonald. Hello, Blake. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you're chilling with us. Please, FLD, please Discord it to me. KTM said there's a chance of Trump victory, but it probably won't happen. You're right. It just probably won't. It would be a big overturn of a lot of stuff, especially now that Georgia's in. Richack said the Republican Party is the political one. I can't do it there. Agreed. It's a weird mix-up. It's a big issue that the parties are so similar, yet so different. KTM said nice. FLD said epics. Want me to send my propaganda on Discord and you can show it to the stream? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If you could do that, it would mean a lotty lot. It would mean so many lots. It would help us a lot. I would appreciate it. Hit them up. Hit us up on Discord with it. And then I'm probably going to go pretty soon after that. We got Tough saying Trump 2020. I don't know about all that. He lost 2020, but it's okay though. Trump, Tough said Biden cheated. Maybe. Just never know. These are the questions. Toxic Ass said, you just going to stay on the Reddit? Sometimes I read the MicroWiki for fun too. Maybe you could too. I've done the MicroWiki. The MicroWiki is like hard to do sometimes because it's a lot of just like, we made a law and we made another law and we made another law and we made another law and none of them really apply to anything. Tough said, I can't vote and don't care much, but I'm convinced they cheated. Fair enough. FLD said, yeah, boys, I'm getting you, FLD. Ooh, there we go. Hey, it's me, FLD. Here's my thing, either propaganda poster or a campaign poster. I appreciate it. We want you to join the Empire of Eternia, made with Memetic. Hey, I appreciate it. I like it. I like it, FLD. I appreciate you. I will save that. and I will post it to our Reddit, not our Reddit, our Twitter and our Instagram. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I never thought I'd have a cool, like, Uncle Sam-esque poster, but I appreciate it. KTM said Hillary said that too, though. Accurate. Toxic Acid said, tough, how come you can't vote? Tough said I'm too young. Lowe's Boy said I wish Biden was an eco-socialist. That's very interesting. He's not, for sure. He's hella moderate, which I think most people, Democrats and conservatives, don't like about him. KTM said, I'm a Trumper, but the Republicans and Democrats like to play the ring around the rosy. I may vote Libertarian next election. I definitely understand. They're all garbage. They're all garbage. If you vote third party, you know that third party can't win. And then if you vote for one of the two major parties, they really don't care about you either way. Toxic Acid said, tough, do you know anyone... You do know that anyone can vote, right? Any legal U.S. citizen. So long as they are above the age of 18, then yes. At or above the age. KTM said, how could he build his hotels? Toxic Acid said, no matter what the age. Agreed. You have to be at least 18. You have to register to vote. Tough said, not if you're below 18. Toxic Acid said, it never actually stated that you can't vote until you're 18. It's just really likely that you won't be counted, but it could pass through the system. You have to be registered to vote, and to register to vote, you have to be 18. Those Boy says, we need to stop supporting fossil fuels. Screw fossil fuels to heck. Agreed. Screw them to McDonald Duckies. We don't need them. We need them right now, but we need to work toward not needing them. FLD said, I'm a 13-year-old who made a news website. What the fuck happened during quarantine? A lot happened during quarantine. That's very cool. Retry said, I sent some propaganda as well. Ooh, we got hella props. FLD said, also a Republican. Toxic Acid said, at least not in the Constitution, I mean. We're going to check out what this Retry propaganda is. Ooh, hey. We're getting multiple propagandis. Hey, y'all hit us up with more propagandis. I appreciate y'all. We need every propaganda. That's a PNG image. I'll have to save it as a PNG and then change it later, because for some reason Twitter and Instagram don't like PNGs. I think they may. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Ooh, Michael said he sent the Gmail. I will get to it in a little bit, Michael, and I will put you on our map. KTM said, ooh, also, if you're a part of our Discord, I'll send you the link via Discord to check out the map, to know that you're on it. If not, I'll email it to you. Same goes with everybody else who sent us an email. Toxic Acid said, quarantine itself happened. KTM said, LOL. FLD said, epic. KTM said, nice poster. Thank you. I think it is pretty dope, and I'm so appreciative for everybody who has hit us up with one. This stream came back. The last 4 times we tried to make the stream tonight, it was at like 3 viewers or whatever, and it was because we were struggling and because we were having so much lag and so much difficulty. Now everybody jumped back on with us, and I really appreciate y'all helping us out. So again, I'm gonna use this ad as some promo for us. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because y'all know there's more people who are unsubscribed than subscribed. So subscribe to us, help us out, help us get to that 1,000 up there. We need that 1,000 up there. Also, make sure to comment for us, like, share it with people, just like Richrack did. He shared us on Twitter. I really appreciate him for that, and I got to give him a shout out as well. Y'all check him out on Twitter. Blow this boy up, give him some love, because he gave us some love and is always appreciated. He's Midnight Rich Rack, at Real Rich Rack. Hit him up. He seems pretty swooty, pretty cool. So y'all hit him up. And the same goes for everybody else. You know, I appreciate y'all's support all the time. Also, one thing that not a ton of people know about for us, we have a Patreon. If y'all are interested in becoming citizens of our micronation, you can either do it by creating content for our channel or just donating $1 a month on Patreon will get you citizenship. So definitely hit us up on Patreon. We need some more patrons. That's another way to help us right away grow our citizenship and help us to grow our economy. I appreciate y'all. Follow us on all the things: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. Um, our website, we're trying to grow that micronational map. If you know other people in the US or around the world who have micronations, hit them up and tell them to join our map. Tell them to go to that email, attorneyandempire@gmail.com, so that they can do all that, fill us out, join our Discord so you can fill that out and be a part of the conversation. And other than that, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all, and thank you for supporting us all the way through this. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000, and the quicker we go at it, the stronger we are going to be as a micronation. I think we're going to get to the top, and I think it's all because of you guys. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. I'm going to go for tonight, but next time we're going to have a lot to show you guys. I hope you all have a great weekend. I appreciate you all once again, and I know it's tough. I know micronationalism is really, really tough. It's something that people feel like they try for years and never succeed at, but keep on going with it because micronationalism is growing. We're all trying to build a better community, and we're all trying to get toward the same goal. So let's remember that. Let's keep it going, and I can't wait until next time. See you, Rachel. See you, KTM. Everybody have a good night. See you, Rich Rack, as always. Peace, you guys. See you, Christmas Island Gaming. See you, Toxic Acid. Bye, guys.